Right, so as you know, I have already posted a video on my Speed Ranger build that soloed MV, but that one wasn't really fully min-maxed, nor was it fully optimized. So this is the second version of that build basically, where I have tried my best to fully min-maxed it. Basically, in that build, I used coagulated fingernail, but as you know, it got nerfed. So this will be the new build. Forest Charm for a 25% natural, 45% nature element damage buff, which is Flourish and Canopy, which will basically be your main DPS. Yarthol's Wrath, basically coagulated fingernail, but better, and is a replacement for it, considering that it did get nerfed, the fingernail I'm talking about. Spike Steel Ball, because your Canopy has a chance to proc it, considering that it is 4 turns, 5 turns, I forgot. And with proficiency, it will be added 1 more turn, or 2 more turns actually. And in this build, I do use proficiency because, again, this is a boss killer build. If you were to grind normal mobs with a ranger, there will be a better build. So this build is just specifically for killing slash soloing bosses. And then Shattered Clock Hand, because you will basically want to use strike a lot of times in a boss fight, because with this build you're also using core alloy mana dagger, which means you might as well be using strike if you're not using like the 3 main abilities of ranger, which is canopy, stinger, and flourish, because the more energy you have, of course, with core alloy mana dagger, the more damage buff you get. So you want to keep a good amount of energy while still using those 3 moves consistently. And Shattered Clock Hand supports that because you're gonna be using Strike a lot of the time. Definitely not Meditate, because if you're running MV, then he's gonna have undodgeable moves, which is, I don't recommend using Meditate. Armor's Rogue Hunter, because that gives a speed buff bonus that is a percentage base, and this is a speed build, so that's the best armor for all speed builds currently. Artifact Stellion Core, you can swap it out for like a Dark Sigil or like a Chaos Orb if you're running Metrom's Vessel. Because let's be honest, you're only gonna like have Stellion Core active on you on some rare occasions if you're doing Metrom's Vessel. And then for the Mastery Path, we want to go 0, 1, 2. Now let me tell you why. This gives light speed, which I do need to clarify because OK did call me out because he didn't know what light speed actually did. I did clarify the things with him, so we're on good terms now. At least I'd like to believe. Uh, so yeah, light speed. This will be good for helping you dodge undodgeable moves, such as Styx from Archaea, such as Thread Fate from Sentient Darkness, which is in Archaea if you're fighting it with Celestial Emblem, Hextren on the first phase of Metrom's Vessel, which I did get information from OK that it is undodgeable, which I did not know. And then Oblivion, you cannot dodge it, sadly. I guess that's fair though, since it is an ult, and that's what makes MV kinda hard. And yeah, you basically just want this for so you're able to dodge undodgeable moves. And then you want to go down here, not because of luck specifically. It's good because it increases your crit chance, but not for this. Not for this either. This is good, but not for this. But for this. Canopy increase its duration to 6 turns. If I'm not wrong, Canopy normally is 4 turns. Let me check that out. Yeah, it's 4 turns, and with this it's changed to 6. And the reason why Canopy is so good, it's basically a multi-hit attack that does 4 hits, 6 if you have proficiency, and it does like 100 plus damage per hit. And that's without like a lot of overheat stacks as well, which you will be getting if you are doing Metrom's Vessel. So Canopy is actually crazy, since it can also kill Shadebringer for you. So yeah. perennial, whatever it's called, perennial canopy for proficiency will be the best path for ranger if you want to be soloing or doing bosses in general. For the shards, I do recommend shatterings since you're gonna be using frosted enchant. If not, then you might as well switch back to inferno enchant and use dragon tooth dagger. But the reason why I use frosted enchant is because frosted enchant gets to proc that one thing where it becomes like an ice explosion, and it also gives the cold slash chilled status effect, which will delay enemies moves. This also counts towards ults, which is very useful in Metro Vessel fight because you want to take as little oblivions as you can, basically. And the explosion itself does do a decent amount of damage, so yeah, it's just a pretty good enchant overall. But if you don't have if you never played AL back in 2023 or you just didn't get the enchant, then you are not able to obtain this enchant at all, and it'll probably just be better to run Inferno and Dragon Tooth Dagger. But I'm pretty sure I've covered everything. Subclass, I put it to none just in case there'll be future subclasses in the future. Future subclasses in the future? What am I talking about? Yeah, if just in case there's future subclasses that fits Ranger way better, as I do not want to wipe this build, as I do not want to grind for Mossy runes again, because I have gone. Oh yeah, I also need to cover Covenant. I've gone max Way of Life because it gives better healing, and that's basically it. Considering the fact that Ranger has a healing move built into its move, I feel like it's natural if I just went Way of Life. You could go Cult of the Nastiest though, so you can get more energy, especially when fighting bosses, because these new bosses have summons along with Metron's Vessel. Seraphon can summon his little buddies. Arcane, if you're fighting with Celestial Emblem, can summon Sentient Darkness. Metron's Vessel summons their Shadebringer. So yeah, if you wanted to go Cult of the Nastiest, that would be fine as well. Church of Raffion, there isn't much benefits, but it really doesn't matter what Covenant you go. I'm just going Way of Life so I can min-max my healing that I get from Ranger, considering that you are gonna get the enrichment. Was it called enrichment proficiency or something like that? Yeah, enrichment proficiency, considering that you're gonna go enrichment proficiency with that mastery path. And for subclass, if you do wanna get a subclass currently, I do recommend Alchemist for the dangerous mixture and for the Iron Gut passive, as when you are a ranger, it's not recommended to go Bard, because even if you're trying to do a setup, you are on a time crunch and it's hard to fit in buffs even without Bard. So with Bard, it's gonna be even harder, and thus you probably won't have time to buff in Metron's Vessel anyway. For Beastmaster, I honestly think that subclass is kinda useless. So I'm pretty sure I've covered everything now. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment.